Well, our first question is about the con and how it was like working with Chris.
Oh yeah, Chris Walla, awesome. Like, really nice guy. We were just having this conversation about the industry and the way things are in the industry, and Chris is like such a great example of someone who really like works on the level that we operate on. Like our previous records, I loved everyone we've ever worked with, but it was very like cliched, sort of like Jack Daniels and people being like getting drunk in the studio and being like, yeah, jam, and me and Tegan would be like, I'm tired, I'd like to go home now. What time can we start tomorrow? It's like 3 in the afternoon, and you're like, oh God. So Chris Walla is like, we did it in his house, and we would go over to his house for breakfast every morning, and we would like drink smoothies and like then go down into his studio and listen to music and stuff. So he's really sweet, and he's probably one of the more like political, like, and very articulate, like kind of like musician guys that I know. Like he doesn't just want to talk about like what cool new band he likes. Like he's very, we would come down every morning and he would be like on like the BBC or something, and he would be like, oh my God, you know, can you believe that this is happening? And then we'd be like, all right, should we do keyboards? Or, so he's a very sweet guy, very, very nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
And on Monday you had your in-store.
Yeah.
And were you expecting such a massive turnout?
You know what, like, it's not that we weren't expecting it. We always sort of expect that people, I mean, we've done enough in stores and shows, especially over the last couple of years, that we always know that there's going to be people there. We really have that kind of consistent, loyal fan base. Like, they don't let us down very often. Like, we very rarely do something and go like, well, that was a total, you know, fuck up. Like, why did we do that? Like, we knew there would be lots of people, but it's still always like, you know, we arrive and everyone's like, there's been people here since like 6 a.m. and we're like, really? Like, it's so exciting to know that people want to see us and they care. And in a weird way, I really like these alternative events like in stores, and sometimes even though I'm not always like real hot on radio, I really sometimes like the radio performance. Like when they bring people into an alternative venue to see your music, you know that those people are really only there to see you and your music. They're not there to like drink and meet people and party at a bar and whatever. And sometimes when we're able to do these kind of events, it reinvigorates my like passion in what I do, because sometimes when we're like playing a show and everyone's real wasted and it's like there's like this kind of like disconnect that's happening because they're so intoxicated and we're not intoxicated, and I'll be like, oh God, we're like bartenders, like we're daycare / bartending, you know, and I'm just like, oh, music, you know. So I was really happy with the in-store.
Because we were there, and the queue was just, we didn't get in, really.
We were 3 people away from getting in. They stopped us just in front. It was like, okay.
And so we started having these ideas that we were like, we didn't want people to think it was like all capitalistic of us to like do it at a record shop, but we started thinking like, it would have been real fun if we had done one like every night that we were here, because we were in London 5 days, and we were like, it'd be really fun to do it every night, because we feel like a lot of people didn't get tickets to the show, or people don't want to go see the show or at a venue, so we were like, this is a really alternative way to see music played. But it was really fun, although everything we talked about on stage I regretted the next day, like in that way where you like wake up when you've been like drinking and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, and then remember when I did that, and like, oh my God, and do I even have shoes anymore, like where's my shoes, and like I was kind of like that the next day.
And now the clips are on YouTube, so you can't
even
see.
Are they?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw one of them.
I know, I was really embarrassed. We use the word cock a lot, actually, on stage, and not usually. I mean, that's not something we do a lot.
There were little kids there.
And veiny.
We did say veins. Not veiny, we said veins once.
Veins.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah. Anyways, it was really fun. Yeah.
Okay, so what's been the high point of your musical career so far?
It's really hard to, like, pinpoint, like, one thing, you know, over, like, another. Like, we've now been doing this since 1998. Like, we graduated high school in 98. So we've literally almost had a 10-year career already. And I'm like, oh my God, like, sometimes when I meet new people and they'll really, like, be like, what about this one thing that happened to you? Or what about this thing? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that. That was amazing. And I think each record, not even each record, each year in a weird way, we'll like set goals for ourselves, and like if I achieve those goals, even if they're like the smallest thing, I always feel like, oh great, we've like accomplished this really cool thing. And I'm just like this in-store, like in London for example, I can remember even just on our last record, we could hardly get over here. People didn't care, the record company didn't care, the agents didn't care, but we had fans that cared, and so we would come, and every time we come here and there's still people that are interested, and it's not, it's not bogus hype, you know, it's like generated through them, like the fans, instead
Yeah.
of us, like on our side, like we're not generating it, the record label's not generating it, it's the fans, it's the people online and the people who are just listening that generate it. That is like a high point for me. As long as that continues to happen,
Yeah.
that makes me really happy.
Because I didn't hear about you through any record label or anything. I heard through Claire.
Yeah. So thank you,
Hi.
Claire.
Anytime.
Yeah, you'll be in the liner notes for the next album. Yes, thank you, Claire. In London.
But because you're playing a lot of universities on this tour, aren't you?
Mhm, yeah.
So that will generate a lot more fans, do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, I think it's like, you always have to sort of treat like, to me, it's like we don't ever feel like we're done or we've hit some sort of ceiling, you know? Like, I meet people all the time who don't know who we are or don't know whoever is, you know, and you think, God, there are people like you everywhere, like, who I know would like it, would be interested in it. And so it's just sort of like really giving them a chance to sort of organically access that. I don't want to be like a ringtone commercial. I don't want you to find out about me because of, you know, like a robot that tells you about, you know, like I like that organic approach. I like when people say, oh, have you heard so-and-so yet? And then you go home and listen to it and it feels really like special because someone didn't tell you that was supposed to tell you.
Yeah.
You know. But having said that, it's important that those people also are telling people as well, too.